Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment lifestyle talk show series. How's everybody doing today? It's good to see all your smiley faces. Everybody seems to be in a good mood because we are live on the air, internationally reaching our global audience here on JMS Live. If this is your first time, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live. I'm your host, Jim Masters, aptly named. It's cool to have you here. We have guests that come in from all walks of life, celebrity friends, Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, culinary arts, comedy, sports, inspiration, music, you name it. And right now, we're going to talk food. Yes, food. It's our foodie festival in a way. We're doing a lifestyle episode of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation and style, which we like to do. And we're so glad you're here. I know a lot of you have been very excited about my guest. He's a dear friend. We've worked together. We've known each other for a long time. We've done a lot of charitable events. We have a lot of mutual friends, and we all love good food. And he's an expert in that world. Matter of fact, he comes from a family of experts. We're talking about Chef Christopher Prosperi. He is not only an award-winning chef, but he's also the owner and restaurateur from Metro East, located in Simsbury, Connecticut, which is a beautiful restaurant in a phenomenal building, a phenomenally architecturally inspired, beautiful structure, which has a lot of history. The menu is outstanding. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the restaurant. We're going to talk about some of his famous dishes and also upcoming holiday events and more. But we're also going to give you guys an opportunity to learn something. We always like to entertain, inspire, and educate and inform here on the Jim Masters Show Live. So it's a multi-purpose entertainment lifestyle talk show series. So our expert, Chef Chris, is going to be here to talk about the upcoming holidays, how to prepare for the holidays, some cool recipes, some tips to make things easier for you as well. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the restaurant, which continually wins so many awards, and rightfully so, and so well deserved. He is here coming to us actually from the restaurant. And, the fact that we are 1 week from Thanksgiving and the restaurant also opens for this afternoon in about an hour and a half, the fact that we can get even, some of his time is extraordinary, but we've known each other for a good while, and it's so cool to have him here. Just want to tell you a little bit about his extraordinary experience. He's been the chef and owner of Metro East Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut, which is, for those of you outside the region, between Hartford, which is the state capital, and Springfield, Massachusetts, just north in the beautiful town of Simsbury. He's an international cooking teacher from as far as Mexico to Italy, a weekly chef on the NBC-owned station, WVIT, Channel 30, NBC Connecticut, which is in Hartford. He's also a weekly senior contributor to the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze, and we all know each other well. I know Faith from my years with public television and public radio and broadcasting. That is on WNPR, public radio, owned by Connecticut Public Radio in Hartford. The New York Times declares Prosperi is a technical master, an original American chef whose restaurant is worth traveling for. And the Zagat survey has ranked Metro East in the top 5 restaurants in the entire state of Connecticut for American food. Really, really, really exciting. So we got a lot of folks who are already checking in. It's good to see everybody here. We welcome you all to the Jim Masters Show Live. Hello to all the lovities. That's the real faithful who watch and support our series. Hey, gang, we would love it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, which has over 550 binge-worthy episodes of our series with all kinds of great guests. Jerry Mathers from Leave It to Beaver was on recently. Marion Ross from Happy Days, and Donnie Most, and Melissa Manchester's come through, and so many others. We're so excited about all these great guests, and you can see them all on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Jim Masters TV. We would love that. And also click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes when they're live, which usually is every single episode. And when we do surprises and specials, also give this episode a thumbs up. You'll see a thumbs up button on our YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like. That helps us big time as well. And also leave a comment for us too here on our channel. And again, on this episode, we're welcoming Chef Chris to the show, and it's going to be fantastic. Checking in quickly here with some of our lovely viewers, and then we'll have the chef on. Hello, Jim and lovely family from Alessandra. She loves to cook and she's tuning in from North Carolina today. Good to see you, Alessandra. Hope your day is going well. Mary Bishop's in Florida. Hi, Jim and lovely friends watching this in the archives. Fantastic. We love that, Mary. And Sherry Larson is watching from Kansas. I mean, we've got a universal audience here. Sherry's here all the time. And Alessandra says, welcome to Lovely Hall and your new Lovely family chef. Christopher Prosperi is already welcomed. He loves the whole Lovely idea. He's all into it, he said. And Sherry Larson, good to see you as well. And from South Africa, Juanita is here getting ready to take some notes. You guys, this is the foodie crowd here. Kathleen is in New York City. And hey, Jim, hi, everyone. Hope it was a good day. Yes, it is. It's still only a little after 4 o'clock here Eastern. So having a great day. Sherry Larson says, hi, Jim. Welcome, Christopher. Yes, we love that. And talking about food, Alessandra is making a casserole that has chicken, broccoli, noodles, and cheese. That sounds delicious. I haven't had my dinner yet, so it's going to make us hungry, this conversation. Dawn says, hi, Jim. Good to see you, Dawn. We love when you're here as well. And everybody that's watching. Joan Sando says, hi, Jim. Glad to see you. We're happy to see you as well. Joan Sando, we love when you're here as well. And everybody that's commenting. And feel free to comment any questions, anything during the live show. And again, don't forget to make it an opportunity to leave a comment on our actual YouTube channel. Again, Christopher is an extraordinary chef, and it's our pleasure and honor to welcome him to the Jim Masters Show Live. Why don't you join me in welcoming him from his restaurant, beautiful Metropiece in Simsbury, Connecticut. Christopher, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here, and thanks so much for joining us. 3, 2, 1, boom, there he is, and welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. It's awesome to see you, and I love Lovity.
You love Lovity, right?
All of the Lovity family.
I tell you, it's just as something that happened to happen out of the blue when it slipped out of my mouth saying light, love, and levity, and love and levity just slipped out, and all of a sudden it was Lovity. They're the Lovity Squad. I'm Mr. Lovity. They're welcoming you as part of the Lovity family. And, you know, pandemic or otherwise, the world can certainly use more Lovity, huh?
Of course, this time of year, all times of year.
Yeah.
That I think that should be our new motto. I'm going to print it on the menu.
That's it. JMS Lovity. So how have you been, my friend? You are in the restaurant. Yeah, I was going to say, you're in the restaurant business. We've had a little bit of a crazy time, but you come from a family of restaurateurs and chefs and foodies. So, you know what to do and how to tackle these kinds of things. Tell us about how you guys have been working through all of this and adapting to it all.
Oh, yeah. And again, even though I'm from a restaurant family, I've never seen, even my family, no one has ever seen anything like this. I mean, it really took our industry and flipped it upside down. But we're coming back now and everything seems to be going well. I have really no complaints considering how much we've been through, Our motto is to adapt and change. And, we've been doing that for 23 years. And during this, we really did have to adapt and change. One of the biggest changes we did at the restaurant here is we went to a 4-course tasting menu at dinner, which literally, it's funny because we did it because we were short in staff and we weren't doing as many people. So it made sense. But in the long run, it really saved us financially too, because it's an all-inclusive meal. It's one price. Everyone gets you get to choose in each category course. There's 4 or 5 things to choose from. And it really just made financially, it made us weather through just this storm and now just about anything that can come our way. So whether we keep it or not, we're not 100% sure. But for now, we're going with this. Like I said, we're now a 4-course tasting menu restaurant and it's $60 per person. And we're doing great with it. And people seem to enjoy it because after being home for 18 months,
oh my God.
Right? People are just like going out and wanting to spend time with friends and family, and it just, you see the expressions on people's faces from our open kitchen, and it just, they love to be together again.
Yes, and that's so important because food and family and friends and good times are essential parts of our lives, and we all need that. We all crave that. So to get back out there and to be able to provide that for people, it's such a beautiful and very important thing, because I know it's as much a communal experience as it is enjoying the delicious food and cuisine that you are known for, Chef. Tell us, for those who are watching for the first time, about this extraordinary place that you have. It's been in different locations, but where you are now is absolutely epic.
Yeah, it's an old building. It was built in 1906 by the owner of the factory that we actually sit right adjacent to, which is called Ensign and Bickford. And they make fuses. Basically, they started in the 1600s making fuses for the mining industry. And it seems like whenever we move, again, like you said, this is the second time we've moved. So it's our third location. And every time we move, I learn something more about Connecticut that I never knew, even though I've lived here most of my life now. Like, I didn't know this was a mining state. So now we're next to this company that made fuses for this great mining industry that was here at the beginning of this country. And this guy, Joseph Ensign, who built this home, was the guy that revolutionized the mining industry in the early 1900s by bringing, the plunger and the safety fuse here to America. And look what he built. I mean, this was his home. Absolutely mind-blowing property. And the cool thing is that because he lived here, then his daughter had it. And then they gave it to the church next door. And you can see the main house is there. And right next to it is this little building next to it that's attached. And that building was actually the auxiliary chapel to the church next door, which is directly across the street from us. And that is our main dining room. So you're basically, when you're eating in our main dining room, you're actually eating in an old, decommissioned chapel, which has got this amazing feeling.
Yeah. That is incredible, isn't it? I mean, and how far does it date back to, the structure?
The main house is 1906, so turn of the century, right? It's really cool, right? Think about what was here and that. And it's funny because every morning when I walk through the building, I often think about what it was like here in the United States in 1906 with someone living here, and it's just different times, right? I mean,
yes,
yeah,
really, really fantastic.
Cool.
And you guys, how long has it been you've been in that building now?
Yeah, this is our third year. And again, it's funny how things happen. And this has been the story of our business. We moved exactly almost to the date 1 year before we got shut down for COVID. So we had this amazing first year in this new building, which really gave us the financial wherewithal to get through the pandemic, right? Because when they closed us, they gave us 24 hours and they literally shut our doors, right? We were doing takeout only, which that's the other thing. When we went to takeout only, what was reinstilled in me is we are not just a food place, right? We're not a place where you come and eat dinner. That's not what we do. We sell this experience, right? Where your friends and family come together with you and you enjoy this night out. And if you can do it in a historic building like this that has such amazing history, it's really a cool thing. And it's funny because after all the years of doing this, you forget kind of being in the kitchen as a chef. You think, oh, they're here for food.
Right.
But food is only one piece of it, right? They're here for this grand experience of eating out and just breaking bread with friends and family.
Right, exactly. And that's what it's about. Let's go back a little bit in time and talk a little bit about your experience and early on growing up, the inspirations you had, Chef Chris, to get into the world of food.
Oh, yeah. My dad is well, I was going to say French, but let's say what he really is. He's a Parisian pastry chef.
Right.
Right now in France, if anyone knows about France,
yeah.
So my dad grew up in Paris, and he worked in Paris did his apprenticeship there at Fauchon, the famous French pastry shop near the opera, and then went on to England and worked there, and that's where he met my mom. And then in the early 60s, he had an opportunity to come to the United States to be the chef at the first Marriott flagship hotel, which was the Essex House in New York City, which is a Keg Marriott, right? It's a new Marriott again. It's a JW now. So
right.
yeah, the next generation, Marriott had sold it. They had opened up the Marquis, and then it went into different ownership. But now the Marriott Essex House is back. So he was there, and I grew up basically in and out of that hotel, running around the halls,
Right.
And in the 80s, he ended up opening a bakery called Paul's Patissier in the actually Essex House building.
Wow. So were you watching? Were you observing, Dad and everything that was going on in the family?
Oh yeah, we would work there on the weekends, of course.
You did. Right? Taking notes.
Got my taste of it. And you know what? I swore I was not going to do this. I went to school for electrical engineering. I was not going to get in this business. My older brother had already launched himself into the restaurant business and was a chef somewhere. And I was determined not to do this. What happened to me is just fate. I got into a small car accident. I was in college. I needed extra money to get a new car. And what do? You get a job on weekends.
That's right.
College kids, you work in a restaurant. My brother's a chef already. I go work for him, and I never turned back.
That's it, huh? So what was the very first venture for you in the restaurant business where you were really running the show?
Oh, gosh, has to be a place in New Milford that's no longer there. It was called the Bistro Cafe, and that was in the mid-90s. And that's when I came back to Connecticut from Florida and just loved Connecticut. We had grown up coming here for the weekends and stuff. And just fell in love with the people in the state again. And I stayed. I never left. And I worked there for a little while. And then Courtney, my partner, and I started driving around the state looking for a similar style town, maybe outside Litchfield County a little bit. And we found this little French bistro here in Simsbury called Metro Bis. And it was owned by a gentleman named Claude. And Claude, who basically came up with the name and everything with his partner, but his family refurbished the Paris Metro. Right? They owned the company that actually got the contract to refurbish the Paris Metro from wood cars. From wood cars to stainless steel cars.
Wow.
So he came up with the name Metro Kitchen, and that was his first restaurant way down in Granby. And then that was doing well, and it was all decorated with old Paris Metro memorabilia, which is where the name came from.
So
And then this is the best part. Everyone always asks where Bis. We always say it's short for bistro. But Claude was French. He opened up a second restaurant and he called it Metro Bis, as in the encore, right? When you're at a play or at the opera in France, here you say encore, encore. And in France, you say bis, bis. It means encore. So Metro Bis was the encore restaurant to Metro Kitchen in Granby. And it was down the street here in Simsbury. And that's what we eventually purchased in 1998. I'm not the new kid on the block anymore.
Right.
It seemed like we were just kids back then.
You have proven yourself time and time again. Absolutely. For the audience watching too, Chef Chris is also one of the nicest guys. He's very approachable, very affable as well. And he also gets involved in lots of charitable events and so much more. And I definitely, applaud you for that. It's a beautiful thing when you can give back, and you and I have been at many of those events, like Faith Middleton's Food Schmooze events.
Yeah. And we launched that as an internet show. It'll be coming out soon. So Faith is coming back.
Which is absolutely awesome. I'll have to stop by and see you guys.
Totally.
But another one of these great events that we've been to, and of course, Chocolate to the Rescue, which comes
Lee White there, sure.
That's.
I think we're going to be doing that next year again, right? I hope.
I think so. Yes. This is the experts at the table there, and I master sermons for it. And this is to help Columbus House, which is in New Haven, Connecticut, and their Middlesex Family Shelter. Those who are seeking housing and tough times have come their way. So they are the judges right there in front of me there at the table, and they get to taste all the chocolate. Oh my God. It's a really cool thing. And we've been doing it for a long time too, you know.
Gosh, yeah. I think
Over,
you and I are, and Lee White, there she is. I think you, me, and her, we've been the longest ones there, right? Seems like we're there every year. And it's Courtney and I had this promise that we made to each other. The better the restaurant did, the more we would give back. That's why you see us out. And when this is finally over and these events start coming again, you'll see us out there again.
Exactly, my friend. Exactly. We will definitely see that happen again because, again, there's a lot of need out there too. Um, let's talk about, we'll do some holiday tips and other things preparing for the holidays and all. Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's at the time of this show. But the restaurant itself, let's talk about the inside. I mean,
yeah, there's our banquet room.
Yeah.
So this is our banquet room. This, in the history of this building, this again is part of the addition. The church built that section of the building that is right next to our main dining room, which, like I said earlier, was the chapel. And this was the fellowship hall, right? This is where they had the spaghetti dinners, the wedding receptions after the ceremony, right? You would get married in the chapel, then you would walk around the corner and go into this room, and we brought that back. So this is, I always tell the story that was our first week here, and we moved from the 1820 house, which is a little inn down the street. And one of our first customers here at the new place was this couple, and they made a reservation months in advance. So they made it at the old place, and they thought they were coming to the old place. So they had a room at the inn. So she's sitting in that room that you're showing right now. That's our main dining room. That used to be the chapel. And she's sitting there crying. And I come out to see what's wrong, because you can see her from the kitchen, and we're like, oh my gosh, is everything okay? What's going on? And then she went into the story how, she didn't know we moved, they got a room at the hotel, and this is their anniversary, and she's going on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that we didn't tell. She kept saying, you didn't tell us you moved. And I thought she was crying because we had moved, and they had to walk across.
She missed the other place, right?
I'm like, what's going on? No, she had so they were here in town for their anniversary. They had gotten married in that room, in that chapel, in that 30 room. Years before, in that chapel, they're sitting 10 feet away from the altar where they got married, and they thought they were having dinner down the street. They didn't know this had turned into a restaurant. They thought it was still an abandoned building, and they were just out of their minds. And they then sent us all these photographs of the inside of the building when it was the church and the fellowship hall. They went next door and had their reception there. So, I mean, it has all these cool stories from the town, which just, again, how could you not come to work with a smile on your face knowing that that's what this place was at one time? And we've brought that back.
And that's the key. You brought it back, and a lot of memories, and, it's the preservation and really, paying heed to the integrity and the architecture of the building itself. Before I went into the crazy world of television, radio, stage, and film work, I studied architecture and design.
Cool.
I did all the mechanical drafting and drawing classes and all.
Oh, you would love this building.
Right. It's just absolutely. And the grounds. Tell us about the grounds too, the acreage and the grounds.
The owner of the building it's a local family, and she is unbelievable when it comes to groundskeeping and gardening. We have some of the most beautiful gardens here. And again, we've just started. We've only been here for 3 years. 2 of them have been COVID, where we couldn't do that much. But I mean, every year that goes by, the gardens just get better and better, because again, this was one of those homes that had one of these showpiece gardens, at the turn of the century. So she's trying to bring that back. So we have all these different beds and the green, the grass in front. It just, like I said, and directly across the street from us is that big white New England, what you think of as the town center church, the First Congregational Church here in town. And that is literally directly across the street from us. And so it's just like this and that, being together. You see these two buildings, and you just, like I said, you can't help but smile when you come in.
There's another great setting.
That's one of our banquet, again, even during COVID, that's the cool thing. They were allowing us, after we reopened, they were allowing us these small functions of 8 to 12 people. And we were doing weddings in that big room of with like 12 people in it, a room that literally seats 125. We would open it up and be like, yeah, you can have 8 people, you can have 10 people, you have to be at different tables, but and we stayed and we did it, and we got to the other side of it by doing these small events.
Right. Were people taking out too during that?
A little bit, but
that's a place that's really, you want to go there.
Yeah, we sell, like I said, we sell this experience, and that's when it really hit us. You don't just come here for dinner. You come to sit in, like I'm sitting right now in one of our private dining rooms that used to be the owner's private office. And it has these amazing built-in bookshelves and marble fireplace. I mean, each room has this distinctive look. And because only 2 generations lived here, and then they basically gave it to the church across the street. And then after the church was done with it, they sold it to a. No one ever gutted it, right? It stayed original through all this time. And basically everyone just kept it up. So we have like the original moldings in the room, the original wood floors. I mean, it all dates back to 1906 when you had these craftsmen, right, working on site to build this home.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing to see the old, the craftsmanship in these old homes. It's just absolutely beautiful.
And it's all solid and so well built. Exactly. Also, what is solid is your reputation for extraordinary food. I did put my journalistic hat on, did a little research. Maybe we will sprinkle in some. I mean, I know we're coming up on the dinner hour. Anybody watching across the country or overseas, how quickly can you get to Simsbury, Connecticut? They open at 5:30 Eastern time. You can run through what we're seeing here, and then we'll do some holiday tips and fun things. What do we have here?
This was from the summer. This was our strawberry shortcake. Again, we're in Simsbury, Connecticut, so we have all these local farms that are still here, right? That some of them that have been here since the beginning of the country. One of our farmers, Young's Farm, which is right down the street in Granby. His family was one of the original settlers of this area in the 1600s, and they still have an active farm. So we buy stuff like strawberries and blueberries and all this stuff from these local farms. So this was local strawberries, and you can't just, like, in the summertime, there's nothing better.
I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just like there's a lot of delicious things there, and you've got it garnished beautifully.
And that's fresh mint again. The owners of the building and those beautiful gardens. We have 4 raised beds that are just fresh herbs.
Just fresh.
And we go out there every afternoon. Even now, it's mid-November, and we're still picking parsley and sage and rosemary out there. And it's like I said,
because you're very involved with the Connecticut Herb Society. You've done a lot of things with them.
My mother's been in that forever. We do a lot with them,
which is wonderful. Look at this dish. Wow.
Oh yeah, this is on the menu now. This is our heirloom squash, and my chef, he just very simple, and this was something he came up with. He got the pumpkin seeds that he toasts lightly with a little bit of local maple syrup, and then the squash. He just takes and seasons it lightly, puts it in the oven, roasts it, and it really just speaks for itself, with some sage on it. And I think sometimes when you get ingredients that are grown right down the street and they're that fresh, that you don't have to do anything to it. This is delicate squash. And like I said, it's just so sweet and succulent when you eat it. Just
and the presentation too. It's really, it's so easy to see why you've won so many awards. I mean, the presentation. Here's another nice soup.
Yeah, this is our tomato bisque. We run this. So we grow fresh tomatoes here. Our farm gets us fresh tomatoes, and we start making this and putting it in the freezer early summer. So we have it. We pull it all year round because, I mean, again, Connecticut grows some great tomatoes, and there's nothing better than pulling that out in February.
Yes.
This is our. This was actually in the summer. This was a feta. This is our take on the bread salad with tomatoes and feta cheese and cucumbers, and again, just screams fresh veggies from local farms.
The audience, the viewers, Christine Clifton saying gorgeous presentation. Juanita saying yum. The foodies are drooling on the Jim Masters Show live right now. Really?
These pictures really do show you that, without these farms, we really are nothing.
Right.
This is another one. This is a pasta dish. And again, one of our farms, Young's Farm, started, was here beginning of the country. And he's the one that he had a dairy farm, and he didn't, dairy's hard. So he wanted to reinvent himself, just like, me, we always reinventing is the key to success. And he got rid of the cows and he started growing things like his family grew at the beginning of the country. And this pasta made with buckwheat. And he grows buckwheat and he grows winter wheat and summer wheat. And I'm thinking, it's like, you grow wheat? Wheat doesn't grow in Connecticut. And he goes, in the 1600s, where do you think we got it from? And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, in the 1700s and stuff, we grew the wheat. We had mills all up and down the little rivers around here, and they would mill the wheat into flour. And so that's what he's done now. So he has a mill set up on his farm, and he grinds flour and cornmeal for us and stuff. And that's basically what his family was doing at the early America. So that pasta we make with buckwheat that actually comes from buckwheat grown in Granby. How crazy is that? Right.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, again, it's Connecticut grown and local and fresh, which is really very important. Look at this.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favorites. This is a grilled pork loin, and what we do is, instead of doing mashed potatoes, we do a take on mashed potatoes, and we use fresh peas. And we combine them with some potatoes, right? So we take potatoes, boil them, and then when they're done, just like you're making mashed potatoes, you take fresh peas, you blanch them in that same boiling water, and then you put them in a food processor, spin them up, and then you add them to when you're making the mashed potatoes. And it's like this pea and potato mash. And I'm telling you, the sweetness that the peas add to the potatoes, you'll never go back. You'll be putting in your potatoes from now on, I swear. And you can use peas are one of those vegetables you can use all year, because you can get them frozen, and they're just as good frozen as they are fresh. Not too many vegetables are like that.
Just the way you describe it, Chris, the passion and the enthusiasm alone is enough to sell it. We
just love the local stuff. Yeah.
Well, talk about the creativity. Look at this. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. This again. So I started my career in Florida before I shouldn't say that's, you asked me like when I started running a place. So before that, when I was really learning how to cook, I went to live in Florida with my older brother, who was then down there. And I worked at one of the largest health food and macrobiotic restaurants in the country, and it was in southern Florida, in the Miami area. And we learned about this ingredient again. Now remember, this is 1991. We learned about this ingredient from South America called quinoa.
And in 1991,
nobody knew what it was. I had never heard of it. No one had ever heard of it. Everyone's like, what is it? What is it? And now it's one of the most popular grains you can buy in the country. And this is a salad we do it that my chef molds it into the square mold. And it's a quinoa salad. And it's just quinoa. When you mix, there's a couple different kinds. There's red, white, and black quinoa. But they all have different little nuances in flavor. Not just flavor and texture. Like the black quinoa is a little more crunchy. The white quinoa is a little more soft. So I don't like them on their own, but when you combine the three together, it just sings on the plate. And that's what that salad is a compilation of, with fresh veggies and some cheese. Oh, heaven.
I just, even in the presentation of it, I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Again, genius. He did the presentation, and I just loved it. It has fresh tomatoes and cucumbers, and and fresh basil. It's just, like I said, and because it has all three different types of quinoa, you get these different textures.
Yeah,
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, this is.
I'm thinking about. You know what? And quinoa is always on our menu now. It's funny because when we first started using it in the early 90s, literally no one knew. We were like, wow, what do you do with it? It looks
You're
like
right. Yeah, it's like quinoa. What is this?
It's
So
like
you're
bird
always
food. We're like, I guess we cook it and do, and that's when we learned, because in this restaurant we had nutritionists, and they were the ones that were really driving the food we used back then. And they would tell it,
yeah.
this is like a superfood. It has all these nutrients and amino acids in it, and it's almost a complete protein. For vegetarians, it's the best. And here we are, 30 years later, and it's right. You can buy it at the Stop and Shop down the street.
It's like unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
We have some more. I mean, everybody's commenting. They're like,
Yeah.
do you ship FedEx? And, like, look at that. That looks great.
Oh, yeah. Burrata is another one of those ingredients that I first, came into contact with in the 80s. And here we are using it in a salad. And this is shaved Brussels sprouts. So this will really bring us into, this is a great presentation. So we roasted the Brussels sprouts. In the summer, we did it with a little bit of tomato, but this time of year, we do it with carrots. So you you slice the Brussels sprouts nice and thin. And then all you have to do is roast them just like you were roasting the halves or the whole ones, with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and some carrots mixed in there. And then you mix in, when it comes out of the oven, you mix in some balsamic vinegar and some extra virgin olive oil. And then you put warmed burrata. And burrata is mozzarella cheese basically around, I'm trying to think what the best way to describe the inside. It's like a cottage cheese kind of on the inside. And when it's warm, it's just, when you cut it open, it just opens up and just kind of oozes into the salad and mixes with the dressing. And this would be amazing on the Thanksgiving table.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking about that, right? For the holidays. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look at that. That looks so fresh and inviting.
Oh, yeah. This is, again, one of our farms grows asparagus, and not a lot of farms grow asparagus because I didn't know this. I'm an end user. I'm not a farmer or even a gardener. But when you grow asparagus, it's one of the few crops you can't do other things on top of. So in other words, you plant radishes in the spring, and then you pull them out. And when they're done, you plant lettuce.
Right.
And then when that's done, you pull it out. So you can literally get 2 to 3 crop rotations. Now, asparagus, that's in the ground all year round. You can't grow on top of it. So asparagus pops up in the spring, goes away, and then you never see it again. But that piece of land that you have the asparagus growing, you can't do anything with anymore. So we're very fortunate to have a couple of farms that still have asparagus patches.
That's really,
and local asparagus. Wait till this spring coming. If you find local asparagus, I'm telling you, you don't even have to cook it. Just take a piece and eat it. It's like reinventing asparagus all over again.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Or rediscovering asparagus.
Rediscovering it, right.
Yeah, because it's not the same as the stuff you buy in the store.
Right. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. This is an artichoke salad with arugula that we do in toasted pine nuts. And again, just it gets flavors, To me, it's all about getting that right combination. I always tell people, we taste 5 things, right?
Yeah.
This goes back to grade school, right? Remember, you were sitting there in that nutrition-y class thing, and in elementary school, and you taste on your tongue. They showed you the little map: salt, sweet, sour, bitter, and then now they threw in umami, which is this weird kind of one, savory, whatever. Whether you believe in it or not doesn't matter. But that's the tools of a good chef, right? Those things are our base. So if you can get in a dish 4 to 5, let's just say 3 to 4 of those in harmony, you're already ahead of the game. Yes. So when you put something in your mouth and you say, wow, that tastes delicious, what's really happening is you're getting the right combination of those 5 flavors, that the 5 things that you taste in harmony in your mouth. And that's what makes an amazing dish. I always tell people, anyone that was around in the 80s, I'm one of them. If you remember a book, it's probably on the shelf over there, called The Silver Palette Cookbook. And there was a dish in there called chicken Marbella. Look it up online. You can find it everywhere now. It is an American classic. And when she wrote that recipe, Sheila Lukens, I don't think she even knew what she was doing as far as getting those flavors in the perfect amount of harmony. So you take, it's chicken thighs with olives and dried plums or prunes, whatever you call them, and then it has a little bit, I think, a tomato and you stew this all together in the oven. So it's a very easy dish to put together. You basically throw it all in a bowl, throw it in a little like baking dish, throw it in the oven. But what she got was the saltiness of the olives, the sweetness from the dried plums or prunes, right? And then you got a little bit of wine in there, so you get sour. I mean, and everything works in perfect harmony. And it is the one dish in my mind, American dish in my mind, that shows what you can do when you get all those flavors in perfect harmony. So that's something to try. Finding the recipe, chicken Marbella, Sheila Lukens. It's called the Silver Palette Cookbook, American classic. Make that at home one night and you'll see what I mean. It is just the perfect combination.
It sounds really delicious. You said that you didn't go into engineering. Sure you did. It's just in the kitchen. There's a lot of engineering and creativity that goes into what you do, and chemistry, and that's a big part of it, right?
Yeah, I think, I'm one of those chefs that I think a lot of chefs go to this as art. They come at this as art. To me, I'm looking at it more from science, right? And I'm not saying there's not art involved in here, but science is first. It's the first thing that we encounter when we go in the kitchen, right? It's chemistry, right? It's physics, all these things working together. So you have to have that knowledge to make sure cooking goes right. And then there's the art, right? The creativity of it, that comes after. But you need that science background, kind of, a little bit to think about when you're actually cooking something.
Absolutely right. We have a few more here. I mean, look at this.
Oh yeah, we do a good burger. We always do a good burger.
What do we have? What do we have here? I mean, look at it.
Onions and and a brioche roll. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, that's still on the lunch menu. We change the toppings on it, but we get really great beef. And like I said, the simplicity of the American burger, there's nothing better when you do it right. Seared nice and hard, where it's crusty and juicy in the center with whatever toppings you like. Like I said, this one's caramelized onions, some gorgonzola cheese, and roasted peppers, and it just sings in your mouth.
Yeah. Wow.
And then homemade French fries. Everyone who knows me, that's my downfall. I wish we could take it off the menu because it's going to be the end of me someday, because there's piles of them every day and they're right in front of you all day long.
That's tough.
Stop eating them.
that is tough. Here's another.
Yeah, I think, let me see. This is another one of our desserts. Yeah, this was an apple crisp that he did. That was really, I love the way he did this, because it's he didn't do it in a big container like most people. He did the small individual in the bowl, and put the crisp up and then baked it in that bowl. And it got so amazing in there. And it's like this little individual. So it's the perfect size.
That's cool. I like the way they did it, with the lighting, with the photography too.
Yep. Yeah, that's my chef. He's also an artist. See, that's why everyone thinks cooking is one person. It's not in a restaurant. Cooking is a team sport in a restaurant.
Yes.
It takes a team, and the team, to have it. It's just like putting together a sports team. You need to have the right types of players, right? You can't just have pitchers in baseball. If you only have pitchers, then you're not going to win the game. There's not, right? No one else. So you have to have the right people in the right jobs. And my chef is the artist coming with me, coming from science. You put us together, and it's just magic. That's our Caesar salad. You know what? Yeah. I love it. I know people think it's done, but I just think that I love the story of it, right? That it's not an Italian dish. It was made in Mexico. It was brought here, by Hollywood, basically a bunch of Hollywood people going to this restaurant right over the border in Tijuana. And now you go to Rome and you can find a Caesar salad on the menu. It shows how, when people used to say, like in the 70s and 80s, American wasn't a place for food, this one really does show the power of American food. Everyone thinks it's an Italian classic, and it's not. It was created in Mexico.
Credit. Joan Sandow says, this salad sounds wonderful. I love all these salads. And Juanita, she's actually watching in South Africa. She says, we grew garlic and used the stems as
Oh,
asparagus.
that's a
Very
great idea.
interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, no waste.
Jen in Pennsylvania, she's saying, I'd attack that burger. Yum.
Yeah. That's
Juanita
how you have
says,
to eat it too.
yeah, I'm dead looking at that burger. She's craving it as well. Everybody's getting hungry here. Oh, another nice one. What do we have here?
Oh yeah, this is our shrimp and beans. So this is just a very simple Tuscan dish where we take these, again, the cool thing about this one farm that we use right down the street here, again, used to be a dairy. Now he's reinvented himself. So he grows things that not everyone else does. So he does all these amazing heirloom beans. And not only does he grow them and we get them fresh when they're in season, he also takes sheets, lays them out in his driveway and dries them for us. So we get these beans. So these are locally grown beans with grilled shrimp on top. And it's just a very cool Tuscan dish. Amazing flavors with rosemary and garlic and a little tomato and some greens in there, just stewed together with the grilled shrimp on top. And again, simple, right? Sometimes simple is best.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh. This one's my favorite story. This is our crispy cauliflower. Cauliflower is the new kale, the new Brussels sprout, right? You see it on menus everywhere now. These vegetables are really taking center stage. And this one comes from an Indian restaurant that used to be in Litchfield, Connecticut called Saffron. And
I remember that.
It was cauliflower Manchurian, he called it. The chef is gone. The restaurant's gone. And Courtney and I were actually looking to expand at one time. And the owner of that property called us to see if we wanted to put a restaurant in Litchfield. So we come up with this we come into this restaurant and the place had just left in the middle of the night. You know, there's still some kids around. You go into the office, there's like open file cabinets with papers flying out of them. You know, you're like, I guess they really did leave in the middle of the night. Anyway, I tell Courtney, I'm like, let me be in the office. Tell the realtor, do you want to see the mechanics room or something? And I go in the office and I start rifling through the file cabinet and I find his recipe for cauliflower Manchurian because Courtney loved it so much. I tried to make it over and over and over again. I could never get it right. I knew it had tomato in it, but I couldn't figure out what until I looked at the recipe and I saw the word ketchup.
Ketchup.
Dead silence, right? So the tomato ingredient in this recipe is actually ketchup. So I was like, why? So you start looking at it, and yes, so ketchup is not American, even though we think it is. It's this Pan-Asian condiment called katsuman, and it was there way before it was here. I'm sure Heinz went over there, found it, tasted it, brought it back here, right? Like a lot of our ingredients come from all over the world. And again, this is a Manchurian dish, which is, that part of Asia, which is, in between China and India. And this is a classic dish. So it's made with ketchup. And I'm telling you, it's deep fried with coriander and it is delicious. It's funny how all my recipes and all my dishes sometimes have these crazy stories, but sometimes things come.
The stories are great,
right?
Yes, the stories are fantastic.
That story though, because the Indian chef, he would never give us the recipe. This one is again a great, and I can send you the recipe, Jim, for this one because this is my Brussels sprouts for this year. So every year we change our Brussels sprouts on Thanksgiving for home and the restaurant. And this one is roasted with dried cranberries and honey. And it is unbelievably delicious. It's a one-pan dish. All you have to do is cut the Brussels sprouts in half, toss them in this thing with dried cranberries, a little olive oil. I put a pinch of curry in there, and then you toss it. You throw it in the oven with fresh sage or dried sage, and then you just roast it till it gets nice and crispy. Absolutely delicious dish. And like I said, this is our side dish for this Thanksgiving.
This is for this Thanksgiving. Really, really nice. Look at this one too.
All right, so pad thai. Why pad thai in an American restaurant? Well, in the 90s, when I was in New Milford, a woman came in the restaurant one afternoon, and she said, I owned a restaurant in Danbury, Connecticut called the Thai Princess. And it was in a bad neighborhood and I closed it. But, I really miss cooking. Is there, and I'm just looking around. I like your restaurant. I ate here with my husband. And she goes, I'm looking for a place to work a couple days a week and, and bring my food to different people. And, the owner of that restaurant and I were like, heck, we just love eating it. So you know what? You can just come in and cook for us. But we had her do a 1-page menu 2 days a week. And she taught us how to make this amazing Thai food. And one of the things she taught us was her family's pad Thai. And again, I didn't know much about pad Thai, but in different parts of Thailand, there's different types of pad Thai. It's like our apple pie here, how every grandmother has her own recipe.
Yeah,
and you always think your grandmother's recipe
is the best.
Someone else's.
Yeah. Right.
So pad Thai in Thailand is the same thing. I mean, pad Thai is basically Thai noodle. That's all it is.
Right.
Let's see if I can get this right. In the South, it's made more with tamarind, which is this sour pod that you make a paste out of. And in the North, it's made with chilies. So her family was from the North. So her pad Thai has this sweet, sour, spicy flavor to it. And it's a pad Thai that I love. I've had it on the menu everywhere I've worked since and owned since. And it's like, it's a winner. We always watch our new chefs when they come to work. We teach them how to make it because they always start in lunch. And then we place bets on how many days in a row they eat it for their lunch, because that's how good it is. And the winner was 36 days in a row. This one guy.
Wow.
Made it for lunch. He still holds the record. Because it's one of those dishes that, again, what we were just saying, it has sweet, it has sour, it has salty. So it has all the combination, like we were saying about taste again, right? It has that combination of taste, that those flavors or those things that you taste in perfect harmony. And that's a recipe I share too. I can give you that one. And it is an amazing recipe. Simple to use. You have to go find an Asian store to buy a couple of the ingredients like fish sauce and stuff. But I'm telling you, you'll make it. It's like mind-blowingly good. And every chef I've ever worked with loves it.
Yes. I love this shot too.
This was okay. So welcome to COVID. Did you ask if we did some to-go food? So we did do some to-go food, but this is actually not food that we sold. This was in the beginning of COVID. We hung a sign in lights. So we took a string of Christmas lights and we hung it on that front porch.
Yeah.
And Courtney wrote out in letters with that rope, with that chain of lights, love over fear. And what we were going to do with our time is we were going, and this is the beginning of the pandemic, right? This is March, right when it started. So we decided instead of doing takeout food, we would take all our time and energy and we would feed the people that were going to get us through this. So we sent lunch or dinner to hospitals, first responders, the ambulance corps, the police, nursing home staff. And we decided that that's what we were going to do for the first 3 months, because we didn't know how long it was going to last. We were like, this is going to last a little while. We're just going to feed the people that are really need us now to thank them. And that's what we did. We drove food to Hartford Hospital, to St. Francis, every single day to feed the nurses, the doctors, the orderlies, and that was the beginning on how we got through the pandemic. It's just, we were going to, like I said, help the people that were helping us.
That's such a beautiful thing. That's like I said earlier, that, you've always been very front and center with helping and giving back to the community, and all of that really matters. Sometimes you also had an opportunity to travel and go to some food shows and things too, right?
Oh, this one's my favorite. I cried this year when they told us they were only doing a mini version of it. This is the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. I have 23 years in a row there, except for the last two, of course, because
right.
the first year of the pandemic, they canceled it altogether. And then this year they did a mini version where they did the food booths that they do around Epcot, but they didn't have visiting chefs yet. I've heard next year, there's rumors that it's coming back, but this is an event called Party for the Senses, where it's a multi-sense experience and shows you food is experience. So we do these little like food tastes with amazing flavors, and there's music playing in the background while Cirque du Soleil performs basically almost above us in the air. And it is just, like I said, no one does it like Disney. You know, a lot of people don't think Disney is a food destination, but you're wrong. Disney has some of the most amazing food. And like I said, I cannot wait to go back to do this. I have 23 years in a row doing it. And I would do this every year for the rest of my days because it's just so much fun.
There's a nice setting here too.
Yeah, these are, again, working with local florists, you know, because the wedding business is a big part of our business now because we have this gorgeous room that seats 125 people, and we're starting to build that back. We did a wedding for 96 people, you know, so we're starting to see big events come back, and, you know, people are being very well behaved. You see people coming in with masks and doing the right thing. So like I told you earlier before we started, I think we're on the other side now.
Yes.
That's why I'm smiling so much. Right? We're not, it's not over yet, but we definitely are on the down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Well, I think speaking of on the other side and the down, I think I've seen you going down a couple of hills here and there in a sled.
Yeah, this is a thing we do every year. It's a thing that's done in Simsbury every year, and their local artists take these old, you know, horse-drawn snow sleds, and they paint them. And this is the one we had in our yard last year. You know, just again, you need to do things to keep yourself going in this time of pandemic and craziness. So, you know, that's my chef Bryson and I, and we got in that sled and had a photo opportunity. But we had so much fun doing it. I think we were out there for like 15 or 20 minutes, and we heard the sleds are coming back this year. So there'll be one right after Thanksgiving. There'll be one in our front yard.
You guys get all festive for the holidays there as well, you know.
Right? Oh yeah, Courtney's here. I'll show you this. These are decorating everywhere. We put fresh squash and pumpkins all over the restaurant. They're on this table. They're on the windowsill. There's everywhere. The minute Thanksgiving dinner ends, my staff runs around with almost wheelbarrows collecting it all. And we don't decorate for Christmas right away, but that goes. And then the next day we come in, we start decorating for Christmas. And by the end of the week, the following week, we're up and running. These Christmas parties are coming back this year.
Yes, they are, right?
And celebrating. We haven't been able to do that, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's good to hear that people are going to get together again this year for the holidays, because I need it, you need it. I think everyone here in the Levity community needs, right? We need to get together for the holidays this year. And I think we can do it safely and happily.
Absolutely.
Levity.
I second that. Linda Odell is watching, as she says it'll soon be Thanksgiving. How do you cook your turkey and dressing, Christopher?
So turkey, I change it every year. So this year I've decided that in the past I've done butter under the skin with fresh herbs, which I love. But this year I think just to be a little safer, what I'm going to do, not safer, a little healthier, is I'm going to do, I have found this Portuguese olive oil that I absolutely love. So I'm going to take my turkeys out, right? What we do is we rinse them, we clean them up, pat them dry, and then I'm going to coat them. I take a little pastry brush, and I brush them with olive oil. And then I'm going to do salt and pepper. And then I'm going to hit it with this poultry seasoning that Faith Middleton told me about. It's this classic American poultry seasoning that I'd never heard of. And it's stuff you get at the grocery store. And I bought some. I love the flavor. It has some sage in it, garlic, and I'm going to sprinkle that on it and in the cavity. I do not stuff my birds. I'm a little worried about it. I've never done it, and I'm not going to start now. But what I do is I take my stuffing and I put it in a little casserole dish. And say halfway through cooking the turkey, I put it in the oven right next to my turkey or right under my turkey. And then every time you glaze your turkey, right? You take the drippings and sort of pour it all over it, right? Get a nice. Every time I do that, I take a spoonful of those drippings and I baste the stuffing as well. Right? So the top gets nice and crispy. It flavors with the juice of the turkey, just like it was inside the turkey. And then you don't have to worry about getting that up to the right temperature, because if you get it to the right temperature, the bird's overcooked. So yeah, so when it comes to stuffing or no stuffing, I don't stuff the bird, but I like cooking my stuffing alongside it. And you know what? I do this every year I've done it. I do a sausage and cranberry stuffing. Because I just, you know what? I'm not from New England. I'm from New York originally.
Right. Yeah.
New England is cranberry land, right?
It really is. Yes.
It only grows here. It is ours.
Right.
And use it as much as you can. It seems to be only around one time a year. You can cranberries are now, and that's it.
Now, right.
So use them in everything. So I make cranberry sausage stuffing, and that's my favorite stuffing.
New York transplant. I know what that's about. I'm from Long Island originally.
That's one thing we have in common. I'm from Queens.
Yes. So you say you're not in Long Island, you're on it.
Yes.
And then there's, of course, we could talk about holiday tips if anybody has any questions. Of course, platters, and look at this platter, all kinds of platters at holiday time, and appetizers. Tell us about some of the cool things
and
that people can do.
This is stuff we do for all our holiday parties, and these cheese trays and charcuterie trays are huge right now. They're huge for restaurants. They're huge for serving at home. And you can really have fun with not a ton of money and some really cool things, right? So this was dressed up. We've got a decent amount of cheese, but you can see there's other things mixed in. There's fresh grapes in there. There's grape tomatoes and blueberries, and you mix in your crackers right in there, and it just looks festive. You spend a little extra time doing it on a nice big platter, and people are always wowed. And like I said, it's really big on all the Pinterest boards, and everything is, like I said, cheese, fruit platters, and charcuterie platters, which are like Italian cured meats or the French cured meats. So yeah, just have some fun this year. And just, when I tell people how we design these, you start at one spot, like with one row of cheese, and you work around and you can see that that's exactly what we did here, right?
Yeah.
We started right in the middle there with that row of cheese that has the sage on it, and then we went around it, and that's how we build these amazing boards.
Incredible.
So delicious.
The holidays, again, are a time when people are doing a lot of cooking. So what are some tips to make things easier for people? Are there any new innovations, any new recipes, any new gadgets, anything that you have come across that, as times have changed, we've all adapt to the changes that you're seeing when it comes to food and holidays?
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things is two things. One, I always tell people, if you're doing a big dinner like Thanksgiving, if you're doing your Thanksgiving dinner, I'll give you a couple pieces of advice. One, don't be afraid to cheat, right? And that's coming from me because I like cheating too. And when I mean cheating, I'm saying it's not bad to buy some things prepared or partially prepared. Jacques Pepin, a famous French chef, lives here in Connecticut. Known him since I was a little kid. He was a Queens guy too. He always says, the supermarket is his sous chef. And what he means by that is you can buy things already chopped up a little bit. Like if you ever seen in the produce section, there's these little packages of chopped celery, onion, and carrots.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff. So that's why I'm not saying cheating like, going to a restaurant, buying all the food and putting it on your table and saying you made it. But I am saying there are things you can do and can buy that you can tweak a little bit or, get you started. Buying butternut squash already peeled and chopped. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yes.
So that's one of the
those are tough. Those are tough too. And the acorn squash, they're tough.
And, again,
and turnips.
So Jacques says it, use the grocery store as your sous chef. That's a great piece of advice, especially at the holidays when you have all these different pieces to make. The other thing is plan it, and start ahead. There's no reason, and I tell this to everyone that's doing a big holiday dinner, there's no reason to do it all the day of or the day before. There are certain things you can start like 2 days before, right? Like here's a good example. I make my mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving because I'm a little weird at mashed potatoes. I like them crispy on top, so I like them baked. So I make my mashed potatoes either the day before or 2 days before. I put them in a casserole dish. I wrap after they've cooled. I wrap them in plastic wrap really nice and well, and I put them in the refrigerator. It's not going to be in there for a week. It's going to be in there for a day or two. Then again, this is all marshaling that plan for the holiday, right? For the big day. Then I time it out. I know this casserole is going to take about 50 minutes in the oven. So as my turkey's finishing up, I throw that in the oven. And again, you can baste it with the turkey juices, or you can dot little pats of butter on top and bake it. So you're not like trying to, that's 2 pots that are cleared off your stove already, right?
Right.
You got to heat the cream and butter. You got to cook your potatoes. You got to clean all that. So that can be done a couple days ahead of time and just finished in the oven. So think about all those little tricks that you can do to get yourself ahead. So the day of, you're basically just sitting with your guests, enjoying the day, cooking the turkey.
And then how about Hanukkah, Christmas, and those holidays as well, New Year's?
Oh
yeah. What are some of the new
my
things?
Favorite. Oh my gosh, I grew up in Forest Hills.
Sure,
we were the only Catholics on the block,
right?
And of course, we had. I'm going to say I had 15 Jewish mothers, and they all had one thing in common because we weren't Jewish. They thought we didn't eat. So they were always feeding us.
Yes, come eat.
So I learned these recipes for brisket, and I make this so amazing brisket now. And I learned it from Lee White, who was just on one of those pictures with us at that event. And you take the brisket, you take some foil, and you basically make this envelope. So cross 2 pieces of foil. So one you rip this way, and one you rip this way, and you lay it out. You put your brisket on top of that. And you lay that in a like baking dish, like you were making lasagna. So you take your foil, you put it on top of that, you put your brisket so it's sitting on the foil in the baking dish. Then, believe it or not, and this is the craziest thing I've ever heard, and I do it every time, you take a half a can of Coca-Cola, or if you're really cool, Dr. Pepper, and you pour that over the top of it with, you ready for this? Lipton onion soup mix. I know this is crazy coming from you're saying,
wow,
but Lipton onion soup mix. Then you fold this over, and again, remember this is foil inside like a lasagna pan, like a Pyrex lasagna pan, and then you fold the foil over. You put it in a 270 or 300 degree oven for like you go for about an hour and a half, and then you check it to see if it's fork tender. And I'm telling you, mind blowing. You pour that juice off. You thicken it with a little cornstarch to make a gravy. I remember one year, Lee White did this for a dinner for Jacques Pepin, and he was so blown away by the gravy. He needed to know the recipe. When she told him, I think she used Dr. Pepper, he had the same reaction I did, like, excuse me?
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
But these are all classic Jewish American recipes, right?
Right.
And what people do when they came here, because remember, I'm first generation as well, right? My family isn't from here. My mom's from Austria, my dad's from France, and I'm first generation. So when people come here for the first time, they know their dishes of their homeland, but they have to adapt it to the ingredients we have here. And when these Jewish grandmothers were making this dish, there wasn't a ton of stuff around. I mean, it was the 70s and the 60s. So your supermarket wasn't as well stocked as it is today with foreign and funky ingredients. So they adapted, right? They knew they wanted this brisket to have a sweet flavor. And someone said Coca-Cola or Dr. Again, you look it up online. These are Jewish American classic ways of cooking. I'm telling you, it makes the best brisket on the planet.
A lot of people are so busy these days too, Chef, and they're looking for different ways. And you've been listing a lot of really cool ways that people can do the meal and get the desserts and get everything going, but still have time to spend time with the family as well. And you're mentioning that they don't have to do everything the night of or the day before. You can start to plan these things out, and that really can save you a lot of time so you can really enjoy the holidays, right?
Yeah. And that's the most important part. Remember, we said that about dining in a restaurant. It's something I found out about life in a restaurant, after cooking here for so long and in different restaurants, that, it's not just the food, it's the experience. And if you're in the kitchen, and especially, it's one thing when you're in a restaurant, the chef's in the kitchen, that's what his job is. But if you have people home over, in your house, you want to be part of that experience. You don't want to be spending the whole time in the kitchen while they're in the dining room or living room without you. So you want to make sure that you are part of the experience. So you do most of the cooking beforehand. And there are tons of little tricks like that. I mean, one of the things I love to do with my turkey, and I'll give you this comes from Ina Gardner. And what she does is she will roast her turkey. She'll let it rest for like 20 minutes to half an hour. And then she will heat her gravy, right? And then she will put it in a large platter. Now, think about it. The turkey's not very hot anymore after sitting for that long. So what she'll do is she'll slice the turkey and she'll get it all, sliced up, and she'll lay it on top of the gravy. So the gravy's not on top. It's sitting on this layer of gravy. And then right before she brings it out to the dining room table, she throws it in the oven real quick to flash it at 350 degrees. And now for an hour, for like 2 minutes, just to blast it with some heat. And then she brings it out to the table. Again, it takes that weight off of, is the turkey going to be done in time? So you get the turkey done ahead of time. You can do even an hour ahead of time, let it rest. And then you just do that little trick. Instead of carving it at the table, you're carving it. And even if you do carve it at the table, carve it onto a platter of hot gravy. And that heats it through. It's just a great hack, a great little trick to do. And again, then you're not timing it, because I even have trouble with that. I've given up on that. Like, you try to get the turkey done right at that moment.
Time it
down. Yeah. And but you've been in and out of the oven so many times with your other things, and that slowed the process down. And you're like, no, let's watch a little bit more of the parade. Santa hasn't come yet.
Right.
In other words, turkey's not ready.
Turkey's not ready. Have some more crackers and cheese.
Yeah. But get it done ahead of time. Take all that weight off you. And remember, the most important part is spending time with your friends and family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's Linda says, my family, we all cook. We're all in the kitchen making recipes, chatting at the same time. It's a wonder that we understand each other with all the chatting.
Those are the best families. I absolutely love that. I love cooking with my family, so I totally understand that. But not everyone likes to cook, so you have to it depends on your family. But
Juanita
you're so
says,
lucky to have a family like that.
If we barbecue a whole chicken, you could put a can of Coke or beer over. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with that.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite dishes? What does the chef like to eat?
Oh, you ready? People are always blown away by this one. Favorite food of all time? Hot dogs. It is by far, for me, the perfect food. I know people love hamburgers. I know people love all kinds of other things and fancy dishes. I don't know if it's because I'm a New Yorker by heart, because I was born there and we were raised on the street dogs.
What's next? Pizza?
No, it's there's nothing. There's nothing next. There's nothing else. I love all food, but if there's one food I put above all food, is hot dogs with amazing toppings. Whenever I travel anywhere in the country, my number one thing is, where's the best hot dog in this area?
Where's the best hot dog? Right, exactly.
Hot dogs in Connecticut, not just places that serve hot dogs, but we have places in Connecticut in this area that make hot dogs, like Hummel in New Haven, Groton Weagle in Hartford, right? We got some really good hot dogs.
Never thought about entering the Nathan's contest, in Coney Island?
No, that's a little too crazy for me. I like to enjoy and savor my hot dogs.
Now, I had always heard that the number one appetizer that is requested for weddings is the pigs in the blanket.
No question. It's funny because my chef brought those back because, I've been around a long time. I remember when they were popular and then they went out of favor and I'm like, I'm not doing these anymore. And he's younger, he's in his 20s. He's like, these are cool. And he's like, no, we're going to do pigs in a blanket. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. Everything else we have left over at the end of the hors d'oeuvre part of the party. Everything is always left over. Even shrimp cocktail. I'm like, the shrimp cocktail is left over and the pigs in the blanket are all gone? How does that happen, but you put a little dish of mustard on a tray with those little guys, and it's all bets are off. Kids love it, adults love it, grandma loves it. So yeah, I mean, again, think about of all the past hors d'oeuvre kind of appetizery things you see, what's the true American one? I'd have to say it's that pig and blanket.
Exactly. What do you have coming up in terms of things happening with the holidays and the menus and events and things?
Yeah, this is the craziest time of the year.
Yeah. That's why we're lucky to be able to get you this time of the year.
We started 23 years ago with Thanksgiving to go. And we did, maybe our first year, we did 50 meals to go. So, you know, you can have a turkey cooked, all the different sides. And then as the years went over, we've changed it and tweaked it and let it grow organically to where it is this monster now. And we have this whole menu. You can buy everything from a full dinner with raw turkey or cooked, or you can just buy the gravy or the mashed potatoes. So we sell everything by the quart. And last year was over 1,000 people. And this year, I think we're going to hit 1,200 people for Thanksgiving to go. So it's crazy. So if you can think of, so just to give you one number, I start making turkey stock tomorrow, right? So we have all the turkey bones here, the turkey carcasses, and we will make this year, I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of about 80, maybe 100 gallons of gravy.
Wow.
Yeah. We make 25 gallons at a time. And it is just, we have this pot that's as big as me. We have a paddle that looks like an oar.
It's good for the biceps and triceps, right?
Yeah. And for the next, literally for the next week plus, every day, I will be making turkey gravy. It'll be one of my jobs. I start with turkey stock. Then we save all, we strain our stock, so we reduce it. And then early next week, we'll start, flavoring and reducing it. And then we'll thicken it. And then we'll package it in pints and quarts. And we literally will sell almost 100 gallons of turkey gravy this year.
Unbelievable. That's incredible.
And that's not mentioning the mashed potatoes, Brussels sprouts, green beans. I mean, it's stacks of paper like this of orders. It's really become this monster.
And how about the other holidays, the Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's, and other parties that happen in between during the holiday season?
Yeah, December. This is going to be the first one, right? We're back. Yeah, Christmas parties are back. People are going out. Christmas Eve is a huge night here. We're right across from the church. So people go to their midnight mass in Simsbury. It's at 8 because we're a bedroom community. People like to go home early. So, they'll come for dinner at 6. Head over to walk across the street to the church for their 8 o'clock midnight mass. And it's like I said, and then New Year's Eve, I think this one's going to be extra special this year because if we keep going, and it's if we keep going the way we're going in this country with vaccinations and everything that's going on, then I think this year we'll really get to celebrate the coming of the new year, because the new year will be a great new year, because maybe this, for the most part, will be behind us.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Why do you love doing this so much, Chris? It's obvious. You're so passionate about it. And I knew when you were coming on the show that you would be. And it's like I think your blood's made of gravy. It just runs through you. It just runs through you.
I tell people I
love what you do. Food. Yeah. You wake up excited about this, don't you?
And then look at this. Look at the pictures of the building that you show. I mean, I get to come here every single day and work. I mean, how amazing is that, right? I mean, this is just, it's not just the food, it's the people that I work with and the people that come in for dinner. I mean, we've been around so long now. We're feeding the families. We're feeding families now that were children when coming in with their parents when we first bought the place in 98. Now their kids are coming in with their kids and starting the next tradition coming in with the. So we're literally on our third generation of families come to the restaurant for dinner. So, I mean, how amazing is that?
Yes, the generational scenario is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What's on the menu for tonight?
Oh, what's on the menu for tonight? So again, food, if you've noticed, has gotten a little crazy as far as
Yeah.
pricing. So we're really trying to be super creative in what we
Yeah.
buy to deliver really good, healthy food, fun food to people. So what I'm really playing with right now is I found salt cod again. It's an ingredient I used
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time ago, when I was a kid chef. And
Sure.
it's something we made. We would make this classic dish, brown dad with potato and all kinds of herbs and spices, and the salt cod you soak in water for days
Exactly.
and let it rehydrate, and then you cook it in milk with again some spices and stuff. And we're really tweaking that and playing that around with that. So as soon as I get off here, I'm actually got my salt cod ready to go on the stove. So I'm
Ooh.
creating new dishes with salt cod because again, I'm really trying to work with things that make sense, that are sustainable, that are easy to get. Because I mean, Jace, the problem with getting like your television out of the shipping container, sometimes our food is in that same thing.
It's in the
The
same
truck
boat.
that was supposed to bring our lettuce from California because it is November
Yeah.
never showed up, and we're like, I guess we're doing spinach tonight.
Right.
So we really have to work with things that really are smart. So salt cod, that's my new one. Stay tuned for what I do with it.
That sounds fantastic. Yes, keep us updated. If folks want to learn more about the restaurant, where do they go? Website, things of that nature, my
Yeah,
friend.
metrobeast.com. Very simple.
That's it.
METRO, B as in boy, S as in Sam.com, and everything's there, And like I said, it's exciting time because the
Yeah.
holidays are coming, and
Yeah.
this is this is going to be the first holiday we got to really enjoy
Right.
in a while,
Absolutely.
a couple of years.
That's right. Absolutely. Onward and upward.
Yeah.
There's somebody here that just wanted to say a quick hello who usually pops into us the latter part of our show. And he said he enjoyed himself. He's starving and he knocked it out of the park. Mr. George Burns is with us.
Oh, love them.
There he is with a cigar.
Oh. He said he smoked one cigar a day all his life, and he said his doctor always told him to quit. He had to quit. It was bad for him. It was going to be the death of him. And then he used to say, "I stopped listening to him when he died."
That's my aunt, actually in West Hartford. Well,
Yep.
I should say aunt.
Yep.
New Yorker's aunt, right?
Yep. Yep.
Collected dolls,
Yeah.
and that got passed down to me. So he
Love that.
pops in towards the end.
Yeah.
But this was
That's an American classic.
absolutely, oh yeah. Sherry says, thank you for this wonderful food conversation. I'm hungry now. Hope to make it out to see you sometime, and happy Thanksgiving
Happy Thanksgiving,
as
Jerry.
well. And all of these comments that are coming in. We really appreciate that. Good stuff. My friend, I hope the show met whatever expectations you had and you enjoyed the time with me.
So much fun with you. We always have fun together, Jim.
We do. We do. And I will be up to see you soon. So keep my chair warm.
Will
and
do.
my glass chilled.
You got it. Thanks for having me. Like I said, always fun hanging out with you.
You as well. Thanks for all of the time. And again, best to you and everybody there. And we'll see you real soon, Chef.
Everybody.
Thank you, Chef. Take care now.
Lovity.
Lovity. That's right. Spread the word about our show. We'd appreciate it.
Will do.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Chef Christopher Prosperi from Metro Beast Restaurant, Simsbury, Connecticut. Just go to metrobeast.com to learn more. METROBIS, of course. Really, really fantastic place. And of course, you got some holiday tips. Again, look at how breathtaking this place really, really is. It is a destination, gang, truly a destination. I know many of you that have been watching, you have been commenting. Linda Odell says, thank you, Christopher. Can't wait to try out your restaurant. Thank you, Chef Chris. Absolutely. Thank you for spending time with us. Come back soon, Chef. His restaurant opens up in about 3 minutes for dinner. So we wanted to get him out so we can get into the kitchen and get going with his other chefs that work with him. It's a great team there, but it's a legendary property. This was a great show. Thank you, Chef, for spending time with us, making us all drool. Good luck with the holiday season. Absolutely. This is a good episode to watch, at any time, not even just during holiday time, just because of the fact that got some good ideas for recipes and ways to prepare things and so much more. Again, the restaurant itself really is quite special, and all of these dishes that we were showing you. This is one of the newest for Thanksgiving that's on the menu there as well. And again, the chef and I have known each other for a long time. We have worked a lot of charity events together. This is a really cool event called Chocolate to the Rescue, and they're the judges getting a chance to really sample these delicious chocolates from great restaurateurs and pastry and chocolatiers. Really amazing. And we get a chance to have a lot of fun. And this is a major food schmooze event through public radio with Faith Middleton, and there are hundreds of people at this event, and it was great to see him there as well. This is all, of course, pre-COVID, but really a great friend, great guy, and really a pleasure to have him here on the show. Animated, enthusiastic, loves what he does, and really a true pleasure. Some of these dishes that we looked at, this dessert here, whew, the strawberry shortcake done in style. I mean, look at, if you missed any of this, and there they are, of course, for holiday time in the sled. We just picked a few things here. There's so many things. And then that was so great, making food and helping out the community as well. Look at some of these dishes. I don't know. This too. We didn't talk about this, but this is sort of like a makeshift studio that he's got for different events and online things, which I think is great. And the food schmooze, which he does with the wonderful Faith Middleton, who I've also known for many years, originally with public radio. Isn't that amazing too? These are just some of the, again, you got some good ideas for different ways to prepare foods, platters, things of that nature for the holiday. We wanted to do something like this. If you missed the show yesterday in the afternoon, we had Mark Manfield from the award-winning Lorimar Vineyards and Winery, and he was with us to talk about pairing wines and also beer too, because they have beer at this fantastic winery that is located in Temecula, California. And what a great place it is, and a beautiful place. And he's the CEO, and he was with us yesterday, and that our episode is archived on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. And he talked about all the different wines that they have, but the different pairings of foods and wines for holiday time or any time of the year. So if you didn't see that episode, that's another lifestyle episode of our show, another foodie episode. We did that yesterday. Check that out on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And tonight, we've got another amazing guest tonight from General Hospital, recently starring as Dan White. Well, actually, he is Dan White. Recently starring as Elijah Crow. Very popular character on General Hospital. Of course, he's been on Chicago Med, Law and Order, and countless TV shows, movies. He's done a lot of voiceover work for video games, animation, and so much more. Dan White joins us live tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, soap opera star, and so much more. That's exciting. Tomorrow, entertainment writer Jim Colucci is with us celebrating one of the television shows that changed the face of television, the classic All in the Family. That's right. This book, written by Norman Lear, who created All in the Family, Good Times, Maude, The Jeffersons. This is going to be told by Jim Colucci with a foreword by Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, you know the comedian Jimmy Kimmel and host of his show on ABC. Jim Colucci has written for TV Guide, The Advocate, and so many publications. He's a brilliant entertainment writer. He is going to be with us, and we look forward to that. And that's going to be terrific. Now, that is tomorrow night, but do you know we have another show tomorrow as well? This is 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We have an afternoon show tomorrow. Yes, comedian Noel Kassler is going to be with us. So get ready to laugh tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's been a week of double levity, 2 shows a day. Oh my God, when am I going to ever sleep? And in between, I'm doing radio shows and television work. But 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, comedian, political commentator, and comedian Noel Kessler is going to be with us. Lots of fun tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And then again, Jim Colucci is tomorrow night celebrating Norman Lear, All in the Family, and so much more. He also is an expert on the Golden Girls and so much more. Coming up, we're going to have actor Nathan Butler with us on December 1st, soap opera star. He is on NCIS this month on CBS. Prolific actor, film and television. Recently, Kelly Conway was with us, daughter of comedy legend Tim Conway, and author of My Dad's Funnier Than Your Dad. If you didn't see that episode, check it out on our YouTube channel. Yeah, we talk about Tim Conway and so much more. And that was a fantastic episode. We had a lot of laughs. Check it out on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Iconic TV and film actress and singer Linda Pearl and Patrick Duffy were with us recently on our series, our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, the Jim Masters Show Live, right here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You can see that. The Pointer Sisters were here recently, Anita and Ruth Pointer. You can check that out as well. Comedy legend Judy Tenuta was here. We celebrated her birthday. Celebrating Marilyn Monroe with Cassandra Carroll. She was here. David Osmond, the nephew of Donnie and Marie and son of Alan, was with us for an eye-opening conversation about dealing with MS. He has MS, as does his father, Alan. Also upcoming performances and really, really cool, open, honest, poignant episode. And a really great conversation. He also hosts Wonderama, the kids show. David Osmond was with us recently as well, and many, many others. Don't forget to spread the word about our show. Share the YouTube links on your social media and celebrate all the fine work we do here on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes. And tell everybody about our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series that we have here for all of you, with all these shows, all these guests, all this great conversation. One show is entertainment. Another one is like today, a lifestyle episode. We do incredible talk and variety, music, comedy, you name it. Linda in Florida says, thank you, Jim, for the show. The show is right down my alley. Food, I knew it. And the holidays too as well. Jim, you're wearing my favorite color, orange. Actually, it's sort of like it's a little bit like a beige, a little bit. Very much in tune with the fall. Sherry's going to be here for our episode tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with soap opera actor and from General Hospital and just a brilliant actor in film and television, Dan White, with us. It's going to be a great conversation as well. Looking forward to it. Your clocks didn't go back. Oh, no. Your clocks didn't go back yet. Ours went back about a week or so ago. Thanks, Jim. See you all later for more levity. Yes, everybody have dinner now, or whatever it is. For anybody overseas where it's late, go to the refrigerator and grab a snack after this episode. Did this make you hungry? I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely starving. It's dinner time here. It's 5:30, and I'm going to be back at 8. For those of you that, yes, we have another show at 8 p.m. Eastern with Dan White from General Hospital, Law and Order, and so many more TV and TV shows, films, and more. And again, he does a lot of voiceover too for animation, video games. So we have another show at 8 for those of you watching live. For those of you who don't watch live, you watch these episodes in the archives later. We thank you as well. Thanks for being here. We hope you'll continue to watch and share the levity. We do something quite special on this series. We do it like a television show that just happens to be on, the internet, on YouTube. It's styled that way. It's formatted that way. It's conversational, warm, freestyle. We have a lot of fun, a lot of levity. We always learn something. Juanita says, great show, wonderful guest. Thanks, Jim. My pleasure. And always great to have you here. And that's Juanita in South Africa. Thank you very much, Juanita. And you like beige too. Good. Thumbs up for the beige. And good stuff. And thank you, Chef Chris. Linda says, it's your fault, Jim, making us all hungry. That I've done my job. And so has Chef Christopher. And Sherry Larson says, thank you, Jim. This was fantastic. Glad I had the day off. Absolutely. Yeah, I know we're all starving. I wish we could all get together and go to his restaurant, right? That would be fantastic. This was a great show. Thank you, Chef, for spending time with us, making us all drool. Good luck with the holiday season. You mentioned that. Yeah. Thank you for spending time with us, Jen Barry in Pennsylvania. Come back soon, Chef. I know some of you said you want to get in your cars and you want to drive up to the restaurant. Go ahead, make a reservation. Good stuff. Thanks for all these great comments. And Steve Greenwood was here. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Howdy, Chef, as well. Good to see you here. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, this is a very yummy show. I concur. It really was. I'm starving. I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely starving. Thanks for being with us, gang. Hope you guys enjoyed. A lot of fun. I know you guys like food, so we wanted to put something together. 2 back-to-back shows. Yesterday, again, it was the wine and food pairings with CEO Mark Manfield from the Lorimar Vineyard and Winery in Temecula, California. Again, check that episode out. It was terrific. And then today with this episode with Chef Christopher Prosperi from Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut. That's where they're located, just north of Hartford, the capital city of Connecticut. You'll definitely order that burger, right? Oh, yeah. And all right, your wish is my command. We got to eat. We're starving. Haven't had much to eat today because we had to put these 2 shows together, the one now and then the one tonight. We have 2 shows tomorrow and then shows throughout the week. 2 shows, I believe, on Saturday. We got shows on Friday and Thursday. And wow, we're working hard for you guys. We're working hard. I hope you guys really enjoy what we do here. As we always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the levity. You know, the world, pandemic or otherwise, we do need some more kindness and empathy and coming together, and food and music and conversations like happen here on the Jim Masters Show live. Hopefully bring that into your life. For me, loving family and friends, always number one. For Zen places, the ocean too. We live along the ocean here on the East Coast in the Northeastern United States between New York and Boston. The ocean is my go-to place. Swim, surf, boogie board, sail, all of it. You got to drag me out of it. And my work in television, radio, stage, and film over the years, too. Also another Zen place for me. Yeah. So, gang, this was really cool. And we love all of you. And thank you so much for being with us. And maybe we will meet there before the cruise. Yeah. Head up to Metro Beast Restaurant up in Simsbury, Connecticut, USA. Good stuff, huh? Really, really good stuff. And again, we thank Chef Christopher for joining us here on the Jim Masters Show live. Check the restaurant out. Again, a good guy, and I've known him for a long time, and I was happy, especially during, on the edge of the holiday season, that he had some time to spend time with me and with all of you. All right, we're going to cut out. We don't say goodbye. We say see you later. We say cheers. We say Auf Wiedersehen or sayonara, which is sort of like goodbye, but we always say take care and be well. And moi loop, right, Juanita in South Africa? Moi loop, which means walk well. We learned so many different things on this show. So thanks for being with us, gang. We think you guys are the very, very best. And wherever you're watching around the world, we love all of you. Don't forget again to subscribe and click the like button. If you enjoyed this episode, click the like button. We would really appreciate that. And leave a comment on our YouTube channel. You're on the YouTube channel right now. So before you go, leave a comment for us. That helps us because YouTube sees that. And then they blast this episode out worldwide even further. It's reaching a global audience now, but it does that even more so when you click like and when you leave a comment for us as well. You guys are the very best. So a couple more last minute comments here. The casserole was delicious. I would imagine you ate it during this conversation. See you tonight. Yes, back for another episode. Those of you not watching live, stay right there on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Another episode of our series, and up to, I think, 550 episodes or right around there as of today. If you're watching this 2 years from now, there's probably many more. Enjoy, binge watch, and enjoy all the episodes of the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Moi loop. Absolutely. Walk well. Moi loop. See you tonight. Thanks, gang. You guys are the absolute best. And we really appreciate all of you. And take care. Be well. We'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. We're going to go eat. We are starving. I don't know about you guys, but we are starving. So it's time to eat. Manja. Be well. See you on the next one, okay? Take care, everybody. Thanks for being with us. A great show, and we are hungry. Have a good day wherever you're watching around the world. The Jim Masters Show Live. Your host, Jim Masters, thanking you and you and you and you for your time this time. Till next time. Take care and be well. Cheers.